cover Kentucky, so you know who you're talking to. I'm wondering your ability to take charges. What is that a product of? I mean, who taught you that, or how did you develop that?
Really, I've just been doing it my whole life. My dad taught it to me at a young age. It was just playing help defense, and I feel like it just came from me always knowing where to be and when to be there. And my dad just teaching me the IQ or IQ around basketball and just helping me with my positioning. And I guess I get lucky with being there when they drive that way.
And I think of you as a thinking man's player. What what's that a product of? You know, how much do you play with anticipation?
I feel like a lot of my game is just reading the game and processing what's going on throughout the game, and that just comes from me studying film, studying guys' tendencies, studying their plays, what they do when guys are in certain positions, and our coaches also putting us in the right position to make certain plays and giving us the answers to the tests. So I think that's really what just helps me to do that.
Thank you.
Hutch.
Jaylin, I'm curious your thoughts on Oscar Tshiebwe, Kentucky's big man. Kind of what do you make of him so far? I know you're probably just getting into the film.
Yeah, he's a really great player. Crazy his stats. He averaged 16, 15. Rarely players do that. He's one of the best rebounders ever. But he's a great player. It's going to be a team effort to stop him on the glass and ready to play.
I know he's been getting like mentions as like a potential national player of the year, and you've faced some other really good big guys just recently. Is there any extra incentive or excitement for you going into a game like that? Like, hey, this is a chance to show like I can be in the same level.
Of course, going in every game, you know who your matchup is, and you want to win your matchup. But every game to me is the biggest game of the year. Like we've been saying the whole year, the game that's ahead of us is the only game that we're looking at. So going into this game, we just want to win, regardless of who's scoring for them, who's scoring for us. Everybody wants to win. So I'm not really looking at this matchup as anything special.
Curtis.
Hey, Jaylin, kind of on that same wavelength. I mean, you're preparing for Tshiebwe now. You just saw Castleton and Kessler, and those guys have to deal with you. What do you think about just the front court talent in the SEC, and how much has that helped you develop as a player going to war with those guys every night?
Yeah, there's a lot of talent in the SEC in the front court right now. Those guys are really good players. They all have a different game, different skill sets, different things that they're great at. And playing throughout this season has made me a really good player or a better player, just being able to play against one guy, and that helped me prepare for the next guy or so on, just different things like that. And I feel like every game helps me to get a little bit better and learn a little bit more for the next guy that I play against.
Thank you.
Melissa.
Hey, Jaylin, being from the state, I know that you've seen some exciting games and watched exciting games between Arkansas and Kentucky. Do you remember watching the Michael Qualls dunk in 2015 and then the game a couple of years ago where Cal got ejected? What do you remember about watching the Arkansas-Kentucky series, specifically in Arkansas?
I don't remember watching that Michael Qualls putback dunk at the time, but I've seen the highlights over the course. And then I was actually here watching a Kentucky game a couple of years ago when their coach got thrown out, and I remember how loud it was in there and just their environment, everybody looking around, covering their ears and just things like that. But I know it's going to be a crazy environment, and we play for things like this. Athletes, basketball players, whatever it is, you play because you want to play in front of crowds like this. You want to play in front of the pressure, the rivalry, whatever it is. You want to play for reasons like this a lot of the time, and I feel like we're ready to play.
And then I want to ask you about JD quickly. No fouls yesterday, and you always talk about how you love his aggressiveness, but got to stay in the game. So JD not getting any fouls yesterday and being able to play a full game for you guys was huge.
Yes, for sure, it was huge. When we can keep JD on the court, we're a better team in all aspects, defense and offensively. He's our floor general. He runs the offense. He's guarding their best, if not their second best player at all times. So JD does everything for us, and when we can keep him on the court, we're a better team.
Thanks, man.
Kevin.
Jaylin, a couple of others have talked about the quality of the big men in the SEC this year, especially at the top. But with your game, not only the double doubles, but everything that you do. There's a great case that you may be the most well-rounded player in the league, best all-around player. But there's some playground flair in some of the stuff you do. There's some guard stuff that I think maybe on the court where your coaches were trying to get you to play a certain way as a bigger guy. Maybe you went to the playground to hone some of your stuff. Am I right about that? Is there some playground flair in some of your creativity and some of the stuff that you're doing on the basketball court?
I mean, just my whole life, that was one of the things my dad taught me growing up is try to separate yourself. If I'm doing what a traditional big man can do, that doesn't separate me. Like not all big men can step out and hit threes. Not all big men can handle the ball or guard smaller guys. So just growing up, my dad taught me those things to try to put myself one step ahead of the competition. And just growing up working on those things, I feel like it's paying off for me now. And I'm able to show my talents and my skills on the court whenever my team needs to do it.
And you've had those battles against Kessler and now Castleton, obviously double doubles against both of those guys and some big plays and crucial situations. What do you know about Tshiebwe just from film study or in general? And what do you expect that might be different versus those other two matchups? Because you said they're all a little bit different, but any adjustments you think you might have to make in this matchup?
First off, one of the things we looked at today was how good he is at running the floor and how fast he is. And I know I'm gonna have to sprint back every single time. He's a really hard playing player. And I know that I'm going to have to be able to be the lower man. He's a strong guy. He gets offensive rebounds 5 per game. Box him out, just things like that. He's the best rebounder in the country. So I know that's going to be a challenge for sure, but it's a battle that I want to go against.
Thanks, Jaylin.
Hey, Jaylin, during this winning streak, winning stretch, you guys 12 out of 13, several games where you guys were down late, even in overtime to A&M, but you always pulled it out, except at Alabama, but the other times you did. What do you think's been the key to that?
I feel like the key to it is that this team, we continue to show that we're able to fight. We never give up. We keep fighting. And I feel like we're also able to realize what we're doing wrong early in the game. Like last night, we were able to realize that we weren't playing the best of defense. And I feel like in the second half, we really tuned in on that. So this team's really good at flipping the switch and turning the page, really, and just getting ready and doing what we're supposed to do, even if we do start off wrong. And we've seen every scenario this year. Like we talked about this a lot, but we've been down, regardless of what the count is, down 25, 7, whatever. And I feel like this team is never going to give up. We just continue to fight.
And then 10 double doubles. I think that the last guy to do that was Gafford, who obviously you saw him, an NBA guy. But what do you think about that? And are you almost coming to expect, well, I'm going to get a double double? Because I think you've done it several games in a row now.
No, I'm not expecting it. I'm just trying to play to get the win. But of course, I'm honored to be in the same category as Dan, just knowing that he's one of the all-time greats, all-time bigs here at Arkansas. What he's doing in the league, just being able to be mentioned in the same category as him or being able to do the same things that he was able to do is just, it's an honor to be said in that same way.
And it's not like I think teams shouldn't drive to the pole on Arkansas, but with the way you've taken charges, are you surprised that some guys still come in there like they do? And, it's kind of like, well, did you watch film? Did you read a scouting report? I mean, because you're getting 3, 4. It's not like you're getting 1 or 2 every few games. You're getting 3 and 4 in these SEC games,
Yeah, sometimes I'm thinking like, what are these guys doing? But there's also times where some guys will send me down there and they'll completely just stop their drive mid turn or mid dribble. And but yeah, I just try to get in the position, but it's just something I go in the game thinking about.
Mike White, the Florida coach, said, he said this on Monday, going into your all's game, that he thinks you sniff out charges and that you just have no regard for your body. He meant that as a compliment, and I would think the taller you are, I mean, I know you don't know what it's like to be 5'10", but I would think, as tall as you are, man, when you hit the deck, that hurts a lot. That's like a big old sequoia falling or something. I mean, how much pain is there with taking these charges? And do you feel like you sniff them out kind of,
I feel like I play the game and try to see what guys are doing. I try to learn their tendencies to see if they're a reckless driver, but also it doesn't really hurt. I wear pads under my jersey And I've talked to Coach Smart about it. And he's trying to tell me that I need to learn how to fall better. I think I fall pretty good, but he tells me I need to fall a little bit better. So I guess I got to work on that. But I don't think I sniff them out. I think I just play my game.
Now, so the pads go all the way around your chest and stomach like a football player?
No, they're just right here around right here.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how are you supposed to fall better? I mean, I guess I didn't know there were that many ways to fall. Has Keith demonstrated, or how do you fall better?
No, I guess I'm gonna have to talk to him about that today or sometime tomorrow about how to fall better.
Okay, thanks.
All right, guys. Thanks for your time.